Riley Herbst, his teammate. Reddick drops to the bottom. Alongside Elliott, in the wall goes Herbst, and Tyler Reddick comes to the line.
Wow.
A shower of sparks behind him.
Tyler Reddick did not control the night. He did not lead the most laps. But when the final corner arrived, he made the move no one else could. Daytona gave him one opening, and he took everything. Now the question remains, was that last lap just a perfect moment, or the beginning of something much bigger? The race began with Kyle Busch on the pole, chasing the one victory that has continued to escape him. It was his 21st attempt at winning the Great American Race. Busch looked sharp early, leading laps and commanding the draft with confidence. His car had speed. His moves were precise. For a while, it felt like this might finally be his year, but Daytona has a way of reshuffling even the best-laid plans. Ryan Blaney also made his presence known during the long green flag stretches. His Ford was strong in clean air, and he moved between lanes with authority. At multiple points, he looked like the driver to beat. Chase Elliott stayed close as well, steady and patient, rarely making a move that did not serve a clear purpose. He understood the rhythm of the race, conserving his equipment while remaining within striking distance. Reddick's approach was quieter but deliberate. He avoided unnecessary risks in the early stages and resisted the temptation to force his way to the front. Daytona rewards discipline. It punishes desperation. Reddick kept his number 45 Toyota clean and steady, knowing that the most important laps would come much later. That moment arrived on lap 123 when the race changed dramatically. A massive wreck erupted after contact between Denny Hamlin and Justin Allgaier triggered a chain reaction in the draft. Cars scattered in every direction, smoke blanketed the track. Nearly 20 vehicles were swept into the carnage in what became the defining Big One of the night. Championship hopefuls disappeared in seconds. Pit crews watched helplessly as their cars were destroyed. Reddick made it through untouched. That single escape shifted his entire race. The field was thinner. The pressure intensified. Every driver left knew that the opportunity had grown larger, but the margin for error had grown smaller. As night settled fully over Daytona, the aggression level increased. The draft tightened. 3 wide battles became constant. The outside lane surged, then stalled. The inside line fought back. Positions changed with every lap. It was clear that the race would not end calmly. Kyle Busch remained competitive into the closing stages but began to lose track position as the pack shuffled. In the final laps, as the intensity reached its peak, Busch made a calculated decision. Rather than remain locked in a volatile pack that could erupt at any moment, he backed out slightly, prioritizing survival and points. It was a strategic choice in a race that often punishes overcommitment. He would ultimately finish 15th. Ryan Blaney's strong night unraveled late when he was caught in trouble during the closing stretch. After running near the front for much of the race, he fell back and finished 27th, another reminder of how unforgiving Daytona can be. One slight shift in the draft, one mistimed push, and an entire evening of control can disappear. The speed had been there. The execution had been there. The result was not. The race was destined for overtime. 2 laps remained. One restart would decide everything. Engines idled under caution as drivers tightened their belts and steadied their breathing. Spotters leaned forward in their stands, knowing their next few calls would carry enormous weight. Chase Elliott lined up in control. He had positioned himself exactly where a veteran champion wants to be, calm, focused, leading the field into the final green flag run. Behind him, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. waited aggressively, understanding better than most how to manipulate the draft on super speedways. Joey Logano hovered close, ready to capitalize as the top Ford in contention. The pack behind them stacked up tightly, bumpers nearly touching, every driver aware that hesitation would mean defeat. Tyler Reddick restarted 4th. The green flag waved and the pack surged forward. Elliott launched cleanly and defended the inside lane. Stenhouse pressed from behind. Logano searched for an opening. Reddick remained composed, reading the air and watching the lanes develop as they barreled down the backstretch for the final time. The outside line began to build but needed help. The inside lane held firm, with Elliott guarding every inch. Entering turn 3 on the last lap, Reddick was still 4th. Elliott maintained the lead. Stenhouse prepared to make his move. The outside lane needed momentum. That momentum came from Riley Herbst. Reddick's teammate delivered a perfectly timed shove to the rear of the number 45. It was controlled and precise. The push ignited the outside lane and gave Reddick the speed he needed at exactly the right moment. The Toyota surged forward with sudden force. Elliott attempted to block as Reddick pulled alongside, but the timing was against him. The shove from Herbst turned into a slingshot. Reddick committed high, trusted the draft, and carried the outside lane through the corner with conviction. Off turn 4, the move was complete. Reddick cleared Elliott and accelerated toward the start-finish line. Stenhouse Jr. made a desperate charge for second, scraping the wall as he fought to stay in contention. Logano powered forward as well, but no one had the momentum that Reddick had built. Tyler Reddick crossed the line first. Second place went to Ricky Stenhouse Jr., third to Joey Logano, fourth to Chase Elliott. In an instant, the Daytona 500 belonged to Reddick. The radio erupted with disbelief and joy. His voice carried both exhaustion and relief. The journey to that moment had not been easy. The 2025 season had been winless, filled with frustration and questions about momentum. Off the track, he and his family had faced the stress of their newborn son's health challenges, adding emotional weight to an already demanding career. On pit road, Michael Jordan celebrated with unfiltered passion. He jumped, shouted, and embraced team members as 23XI Racing secured the sport's biggest prize once again. For an organization still building its legacy, the victory was monumental. It proved that they could compete with and defeat NASCAR's most established powerhouses on the grandest stage. The number 45 Toyota sat scarred with rubber and debris, proof of the battle it had survived. Cameras flashed from every angle as Reddick wrapped his arms around his crew chief, then embraced Michael Jordan, whose celebration had already become one of the lasting images of the night. For a team that had fought through a winless 2025 season and relentless pressure to deliver, this was validation. It was resilience rewarded. He had not led the most laps. He had not dominated the evening. He had mastered the moment. Daytona often comes down to inches and instinct. On the final lap of overtime, Tyler Reddick trusted both. From fourth entering turn 3 to first, at the checkered flag, his surge will be remembered as one of the defining moves of the 2026 season. The perfectly timed shove from his teammate, the commitment to the outside lane, and the refusal to hesitate when the gap appeared all combined into one decisive burst of speed. It was a reminder that at Daytona, patience can be more powerful than aggression. The 68th Daytona 500 ended the way it so often does, with chaos, courage, and a champion emerging from the draft at precisely the right second. Under the lights at Daytona, Tyler Reddick turned patience into history, etching his name alongside the legends who have conquered NASCAR's biggest stage.